Hello and welcome to another live demonstration. Today I want to talk to you about the different formats of paper. So it's continuing the part of the Back to Basics series that we've introduced. Paper comes in lots of different formats, so the way it's packaged, and a lot of people are a little unsure about which one may work best for them or which one to buy. So I want to explain just a few differences. So firstly, we'll start with the loose sheet. So paper will come in loose sheets. It is, if you see quarter or you see half sheets, often imperial, what it does actually mean is it's been cut into half from a full sheet or quarter. So 4 sheets out of one full sheet. And that is often, especially with watercolour paper, how sheets are described as quarter imperial or half imperial. It literally means they're quarter of a full sheet. So loose sheets have a lot of practicalities and quite beneficial for those working in the studio. I like a loose sheet because often I'll have more than one painting on the go. So it means I don't have to concentrate and actually overwork one painting. I have 4 different ones and I'll switch and change from different ones while it's either drying or I need more reference or for numerous reasons. So that's why people buy a loose sheet. It's usually more economical to buy it loose because you haven't had to have the expense of a backing board, a cover sheet or any glue. So manufacturing is a little easier for the loose sheets. So, you know, think about what you need your paper for. Loose sheets are probably the most popular format which people will buy. If you want to stretch paper, if you want to tape it to a board, if you want to be able to store it as loose sheets, these are probably the best for you. But think about what it's going to work for you, because if you're like me, you'll have lots of different formats. So that's loose sheets. We'll now go on to gummed pad. So a gummed pad is a pad which can be gummed either on the short edge or the long edge. It's gummed on one edge, not all the way around, one edge. So this is a pad. So it's really nice for travel because you've been given a free backing board. The grey board on the backing board makes this pad very stable and easy to paint and draw on. The difference with this to the next pad we're going to see is that you do, when you flip over, they tend to crack along the gummed line and they will tend to become loose and you will have to take them out over the period of time, which is actually really easy to do. You can see how easy it is before you work on the next page. So that's a gummed pad, great for travel. I often use it as in the studio again because you can just paint on it and it's easy to kind of take to your next place. So that's the gummed pad. So now we'll look at a spiral pad. So again, spiraled either along the long edge or the short edge. These are the perfect travel companion. Again, has a strong backing board to give you a good support to be able to paint and draw. And with these kind of pads, you don't need to take the paper out. You can just flip it over and flip over and you can keep all your sketches, all your paintings in one unit to refer back to. If you do want to rip out, you can literally tear along that edge, and if you want to neaten, just cut the edge. But a lot of people use these as sketch pads, very easy for travel, nice to take around with you. A nice little pad, which is probably the one you'll take on your travels. What people do get confused about are blocks. Now, blocks are gummed on all 4 sides. People get confused with the gummed pad, gummed on one edge. Blocks are gummed on all 4 sides, and I'll explain why. Some gum, you'll see, some have black edges, others have clear edges, and they will have a little hole at the edge to enable you to use a knife to be able to release your paper. I'm using a plastic knife because if you use a sharp knife there is a risk of damaging the paper underneath. Now, as you saw, I've only taken off 3 edges. The paper is glued. It won't move, which anyone who fears the risk of paper cockling, and cockling is where your paper goes bumpy when it gets very wet, especially with watercolour. A block stops that because it doesn't allow the full expansion of the paper, so it prevents cockling. So you don't have to stretch, you can just pick it up and go. So again, perfect for travelling, especially if you're doing very wet work. Again, supported by the hardboard. So a lot of people, to be honest, I often recommend, if anyone is asking me about the paper cockling, I often will recommend a block and point out the benefits of using a block, because it's there already done for you, and you will be able to get on with your work without the fear of any problems with your paper. So another format paper can come in. One last format I'm going to show you is, this is called a lay flat pad, and this has a really beautiful design because what it does is you can take a nice size pad and actually be able to paint across the whole page. Some pads are stitched down the middle, others are stapled, and often you get a well down the middle. Now this lay flat pad offers you the smoothest opportunity to be able to paint across both sides because of the design of the paper without the stitching down the middle. So I often take a smaller size and open it out, and then again you're able to double your painting surface. So have a look out on the market, choose one that fits you, and like I say, you probably will have more than one for different reasons. So I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. Join us on Tuesday for another live demonstration.